A few little injuries are stacking up now in training camp for the 49ers, and it seems to be coming at the worst possible time for a couple of them. And although that feels down, there is other news that feels up, and I can't wait to break it down for you right now. In this video, we're talking injuries, we're talking recoveries, and yes, I say that in a plural. There are more than one, and we are going to clean up with some key players to be looking out for this week during training camp. If you're new here, I'm Nate. We are talking the San Francisco 49ers every single day on this channel. As you can hear, I am out here in Breckenridge right now. You can hear the river out there. Super fun. Nice to have vacation, but you know we have to keep talking the 49ers. So make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're doing these videos every single day. The good news is this: Ricky Pearsall was in training today. Pads on. Ricky Pearsall's there. Hufanga also is on his way back very, very soon, sooner than expected in some ways. And all the details of that and footage is coming in just a second. But first, comment below today's question of the day. With the way that injuries are factoring in, does Isaac Guerendo make the 53 this year? Unfortunately, as the fastest running back in the draft, the guy that was really hoping to watch a lot during training camp, unfortunately, his hamstring injury has him down. I'm going to give you the details on that in a second. So let me know in the comments, is that over for him? Did he miss his window because of this injury? Let's get into the details of the injury, and then we'll go from there. This is Kyle Shanahan. Well, it's Jennifer Lee Chan talking about what Kyle Shanahan had to say about the injury update. So Drake Jackson, this is another bad one. Drake Jackson will not be returning to practice during training camp. Shanahan did not have a timeline for him, and that's a huge loss. Yes, we brought in Malik Collins. Yes, we have defensive ends that are going to look stout, and I'm excited about that. Yes, of course, we have Javon Hargrave, but it is definitely hard to lose Drake Jackson. I was really excited for him to be pushing on the outside, to be adding to the threats that we have right now. But that defensive line does look a touch weaker based on who I think Jake Jackson was going to be this season. A lot of people had him as their defensive pick for breakout player of the year. We talked about this, I want to say back in like June, he was a defensive pick for breakout player of the year for the 49ers. So that's a disappointing one. Another one, disappointment. Jacob Cowing likely out approximately 10 days in total, which means he will feature most likely in preseason. So we'll take that one and say that that's not the worst thing in the world. Could be a lot worse. And then Isaac Guerendo will be out several weeks, also with the hamstring injury as well. And it's hard to know if Isaac Guerendo's out for several weeks. This is why I want you to comment below what you think. Man, for a rookie running back, does he have a shot to get on this team? We know that the RB2 battle right now is on fire. So if the RB2 battle's on fire and he's fighting for that RB4 spot, if there is one, I mean, it just gets messy. So we'll have to break this down in a future video, but let me know, how many running backs do you think the 49ers are going to take into the 53, and does Isaac Guerendo have a shot at this point of getting on it? We'll have to break that down more. On the positive side, the good news that I want to get into is San Francisco 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan revealed over the weekend that the former All-Pro safety, Hufanga, is on track to return to the practice field in the next week or two. He has been recovering from a torn ACL suffered in Week 11 last season. Of course, we all know that. He was placed on the PUP list at the start of training camp. But this is great. The goal is to be in training camp, not at the very beginning, but to ramp me up. This is what Hufanga said back in the middle of the summer. We talked about that, but trying to be smart with it. We've had plenty of conversations with the training staff, putting me in the best possible situation to succeed for myself and then try to help with the team as well. I feel great about our safeties right now. Shanahan added, it'll be real exciting to get Hufanga back. I think in a week or two, that is what you want to hear. That's perfect timing for the safety to come back, work his way in, and even get a little bit of playing time in the preseason before week 1. The original goal, as we talked about in June, and Hufanga kind of hinted to it there, is the original goal is that he's in playing week 1 of the season. And we're just kind of hoping he's ready by week 1. That's kind of what everyone's been saying. So to see that he's going to be coming into training camp in the next week or two, that's going to be huge. But it's also important to note the positives that came out of this time that he's been recovering from injury. This is Kyle Shanahan again here, but I think him not being in there George Odom has really taken advantage of his reps. I think he's playing as good as he has played at the safety level. Jair Brown, of course, just getting that experience last year. It's helped him out so much. We've got a number of young guys in here which are competing hard, and we do have some older vets here with a lot of knowledge who have played some football. Guys like Eric Harris and stuff like that. So we've got a good group. I don't rule out anything as it goes. You never know how it'll play out, but I feel good about our group, what we got right now. Absolutely love that. Continuing on in the positive realm, Hufanga's on his way back. Pearsall featured again today, so that's exciting. So all of that stuff we talked about from the very beginning, John Lynch kind of saying, just going to be missing out on that first block, which would put him hopefully coming back today, Monday, and here he was out on the field. Oop! By the way, the Madden top 10 safeties pick came out there, and there's Hufanga making the top 10 list, 88 overall for all you Madden lovers out there. But anyway, here's Pearsall out there. Love to watch him play football. Then, of course, this one, running through your block, right? You know your job. Run through your block. Look at this. Yeah, they love that. And then, of course, even after practice, continuing to get in as many reps as he can with defensive backs out there. Just love to see it. Love to see this guy. Oh, man. He looks incredible, doesn't he? He looks incredible. It's going to be fun to watch him on an actual football field against actual NFL players and see how it goes. And, of course, now we get to watch him in training camp and see highlights like these every day. So that's exciting as well. Wanted to talk about this fantastic article by Kyle Madsen on just 6 49ers to be keeping your eye on who have the most to prove right now. And I loved it. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you because, I want to give Kyle Madsen the credit where credit is due. But I just want to point out these guys. Colton McKivitz, of course, being the first guy off your tongue. That makes a lot of sense. He has a lot to prove. Of course, came in originally kind of trying to be a guard. Didn't work out for him. Let him go. Came back. Got a right tackle position. Don't even love the way that sounds when you say it all in one sentence. But here he is still holding it up, trying to improve. I don't know. We've talked about this in a recent video. I'm not sure if we're putting enough pressure on him at the right tackle position. But whatever the case is, he's definitely a good argument for guys to be watching. Malik Mustafa is another one. I love this from Kyle Madsen here. There's a world where Mustafa plays a lot for the 49ers this year. He had a couple of moments during the first 4 days of camp, but his hallmark is physicality. It's impossible to watch Wake Forest's defense from last season without noticing the 49ers' 4th-round pick consistently flying to the football. He'll have a chance to earn his way onto the field in some role by showing off that physicality now that the team can hit in practice. What I love everyone talks about Malik is how, like even Sorensen talked about him the other day, about how he's built, and you look at him, you're like, dude, that guy's not a safety. And then he goes out there and he has the flexibility and the speed to be at that safety level. Logan Thomas is another one. We've talked a lot about Logan Thomas. I'm excited about him and the potential for 2 tight end sets. Should also throw out there, Cam Latu has apparently been impressing at training camp. I'm not there, so I can't see it with my own eyes, but that's a good sign to hear. Obviously, another potential pass-catching tight end. Love to hear that as well. Dominic Pooney, of course, is now with the injuries and stuff with Burford out, at least for a few weeks. Is it on here? An injury to Spencer Burford could open the door for room. Yeah, it doesn't say how long. I want to say it was a few weeks. I believe that's what Kyle Shanahan said on Saturday. So with him out, it's going to be an opportunity, of course, for Pooney playing at the guard position and getting a lot of first-team reps, which is good for him. Healthy, love to see that. Of course, Jordan Mason is having an absolute time right now. He's killing it. So really exciting to see he's out there rushing. There were moments last season. He just didn't get a lot of looks, right? And Elijah Mitchell, to be fair, didn't get a great ton of looks either. And you'd love to have a stronger RB2, not because you want Christian McCaffrey off the field, because of course you don't want him off the field, but man, because you want Christian McCaffrey to have a long career. That would be the best case scenario for the 49ers especially. But whatever the case is, for Jordan Mason going out there and impressing as he has been so far, and today's the first day with actual pads on, and there's going to be ups and downs, as Kyle Shanahan talked about in his press conference today. There will be ups and downs, a good day and a bad day, and that's okay. This point of training camp, that's what that's for. So all positive from there. And then, of course, Ricky Pearsall is another guy we got to be looking out for. Monday will be less about pads for Pearsall and more about him just getting on the field. He hasn't participated in camp yet, so we haven't gotten to see whether he can pick up where he left off in strong minicamp. There's also the pads aspect. Once Pearsall has them on, he'll need to prove the physicality he played with as a college translates to the NFL. And that was the real kind of criticism coming out of college, is that he couldn't handle the physicality of the NFL. If he's capable of making tough catches in traffic and getting open against NFL corners in his first camp, which was today, obviously, it'll go a long way toward giving the 49ers confidence in him as a long-term option receiver. And then you just throw that, watch all the rookies out there, which is Kyle Madsen. Good article there. You should go check it out on Niners Wire and give Kyle Madsen some credit there for all of that, because it was really solid. You should read the whole thing. But all of that being said, I'm feeling super optimistic, continuing to feel optimistic about this roster. Disappointed about a couple injuries. Let me know in the comments what you think about Isaac Guerendo, if he has a shot despite his injury, if he has a shot to make this team and what that's going to look like for him. Cody Schrader's another interesting one. You have to let me know what you think in the comments about what you saw today. I searched through Twitter like crazy, and I couldn't find any good footage of him other than him coming out before anybody else. Interesting timing, of course, with Guerendo's injury to come out there this morning and to be first one on the field ready to go. So we'll have to see what he can produce, of course, as well, if he has a shot of making this football team. All of these things and more, so much fun to talk about as we get now 12 days until the first official preseason game, the first time we're actually going to see some first team reps out there, although not many. It'll be good to see them out there and get some eyes on some depth players as well. As always, what a time to be alive.